Hey everybody, this is Throbby with Large Lad Studio. Today we have another tier list for you. And I guess just to throw this out there, go ahead and check out if you haven't seen our Project Winter Reach updates. We keep pumping them out, and we'd really appreciate if you guys gave us a wish list on Steam. Even if you're not going to buy it, it still helps. So, and with that note, we're going to go over to Tristan, who's also with Large Lads.
Hey guys, it's me, Tristan, the Supreme Chancellor of Large Lads. Nice to meet you.
Yep, and then we also have Roofy with us today.
I'm a solo developer of Lost Dreadnought Studios. Nice to see you.
Yep. So today we're doing a tier list, and in this tier list, we're going to do our favorite. We're going to be ranking fantasy tropes, right? So these are tropes and cliches that you see common in fantasy, and we're going to rank them based on, did we come to a consensus on how much we like them in a story?
Yeah, that's how we'll measure it.
Okay.
Or how much you reused they are. So it's kind of, cringy cliche that you would use in your story. So you would need to have a spin on it if it would be effective in the modern.
Okay, so you're saying too, like, you could use it. It's a good cliche to use, or it's a good cliche that to put a spin on as well. So how much you?
Yeah, alternated.
Okay, so okay, cool. Okay, well that's kind of the criteria here. Hopefully that's not too vague and not going to be left up to too much interpretation, but I'm sure it is.
All right.
And we're going to actually start right here with ancient ruins filled with skeletons. And as our image here, as you guys can imagine, we used Bleak Falls Barrow from Skyrim, because Skyrim is filled with ancient ruins full of skeletons that always have gold on them for some reason. That's kind of the second hand of the trope. And what do you guys think about this trope?
I think it's a fun trope for like a one-time, use in a story. After the 48th dungeon you've crawled through that has skeletons with gold on them, it might not be quite as novel as the first 2 or 3 times. But I think it's totally fine. I think it's totally cool. I put it at B. I think it's a solid B. Nothing exciting, nothing too boring. What do
you think, Rufy?
I also like when you have a game which has uneven loot drops, and sometimes when you kill a rat in a dungeon, you get like a Mace of Eternity, like a legendary item.
Yeah.
It's all percentile drop.
Yeah,
so
or like
it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
like you kill a saber-tooth in Skyrim and it has one eye on it.
Or it has like an armor.
Yeah. Or gems. You always see the wolves will have gems.
Have you ever played one of the Fallout games when you kill the legendary monster and it has like a bazooka and it's like a zombie? That's like what I imagined on like a funny spin towards dungeon and like crawler with skeletons.
Yeah.
I also imagine like Legends of Zelda games. You had the vases which you could break, and for some reason they always had the treasures inside of them.
And I'm going to be honest, I think I might be kind of high on this, because it seems like if you're going to do a dungeon crawler, or if it's a movie that takes place in a dungeon or things like this, like it's almost like, I don't want to say it's almost a must, but it's almost like the genre is the, like, could you imagine like Skyrim without ancient ruins filled with skeletons?
I certainly could not. I certainly
could
not.
Like it kind of makes it, like you need it.
I
think it's A tier.
Yeah, and one more note to it. I really like when the skeletons are either super scrawny and you can just
turn them into
Dragons. You just bop into them and they immediately fell apart, or it's the other way around, like in Daggerfall or Arena, like the old Elder Scrolls games, where you would literally see them as the Doom. Like as soon as you would see skeleton, you would be like, yeah, this is gonna be a tough fight. So I like it both ways. For me, it's like BA.
I think it's A tier.
Okay.
I'm pretty high on
It's
it.
a must. It's a must.
A tier?
Yeah, put an A tier. That's fine.
Boom.
It is used quite a bit.
Next one that we have is Bandits on the Road. Obviously,
S tier, baby.
Obviously in Game of Thrones, this is like every season you could think up a bit.
First.
No, I really think of Skyrim again. I hate to keep using Skyrim. I really think of Skyrim because there's fucking bandits everywhere. But
I think of Mountain Blade. Have you ever played Mountain Blade?
Mountain Blade is huge too.
Yeah. The sentence: your money or your life.
Yeah. Well, I think
I am here immediately.
I think in Game of Thrones, I think obviously this picture here is because that mountain bandit tribe in the Vale got him. I think remember when the Hound comes back and then those 3 people part of like the Brotherhood Without Banners kill the people, and then they go back and go get them. I think of even when they are kind of bandits, but the Lannister men who are like terrorizing that tavern that the Hound goes and like kills them all with Arya.
I have 2 other things for the bandits.
Even remember the guys. Sorry to cut you off here, but remember the guys who cut off Jaime's hand. Remember when they're not bandits, kind of, but they kind of act like the bandits on the road. Where
the flayed.
They were mercenaries.
Well, no, they were the Bolton's men.
Bolton's, yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of act as the bandit on the road.
Yeah, they fulfill the role.
Then I have another thing for the bandits. 2 things actually. First is the location. It's always like a forest or like a remote place. It makes sense because the law enforcement is far away or the knights are far away, so it kind of makes sense. But as soon as it's on the sea, you have pirates.
Yeah, and, kind of. Yeah, they fulfill that.
So it's immediately segmented. How would you call someone who's like in the mountain? It's still a bandit, right? Or
it's the mountain
bandit. Yeah,
mountain bandit. We have like a specific name for it. And the second thing is that I also thought about what I was talking about. I kind of forgot, so I'll get back to it.
I think. How high are you guys on it?
I'm S tier, but I like these bandits. I like the bandits for a different reason. See, you guys are showing all the stories of bandits that actually have like precedence in the story. My favorite are the bandits that you run into and then you immediately
beat the shit out of them.
Swat away. You beat the shit out of them. You send them packing, and that's the bandits that I like to run into.
Like how unfortunate that this poor guy pulled up on the Dovahkiin at level 80.
Yeah, he thought he was going to get my money, and then now he's dead. And now I'm throwing him 4,000 feet down the mountain.
Rufy, what do you think? I think it's ARS tier.
Yeah. And also to remind myself what I wanted to. When you also look at folklore, especially the German folklore and even Slavic folklore, you have bandits, which sometimes are actually the good people, because even in the UK, actually, you have the Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Right, but he's a poacher. Would you segment those 2 poachers?
No, because he steals from the rich. But I don't think of. I guess they kind of are, and I'm thinking like Shrek. They run into some bandits on the road in the first Shrek. I suppose they do. It is Robin Hood, isn't it? Yeah. So okay, so they do run into some bandits on the road that are kind of Robin Hood.
And I think sometimes you could even have like a protagonist in your story who stumbles upon bandits when he's very much wounded and so on. And the bandits, instead of killing him and robbing him, they actually help him and take him under their wing, or a child, right? So
there is too. Yeah, like like you could think in like Berserk. Maybe this isn't quite the same, but how like Guts initially starts up from the bandits, and they kind of are like maybe they're more like mercenary bandits, I suppose, than anything. But
it's kind of the same thing in that world.
It kind of is, yeah. To be fair, I don't know. I think S tier. What do you guys think?
I'm S tier.
Yeah.
S tier. Boom.
Even in real world, when the bandits came from mostly mercenaries, and because when the time is hard, or armies disband, or there are deserters.
Yeah, good point too.
They are bandits.
Yeah.
They are bandits immediately.
Next is the Chosen One.
The Chosen One.
I want to put the Chosen One at B tier, not because I don't like it, but because of how much effort it takes. Like when there is a Chosen One, you have to put a lot of effort and energy into that part of the story, into that plot line. Right, like it takes up a significant chunk of what you're doing anymore if you're doing a Chosen One plotline. Most of the time.
I'm actually even lower on it.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I almost think it's D tier, because my thing is like you generally know if your protagonist is generally going to win, generally.
Or he's like.
And then if they're also the Chosen One, then it's like I can't even suspend any thought that maybe my protagonist might not win, because now I know not only do I think they're going to win because they have that plot armor of being the protagonist, but now on top of it you've told me, oh, they also have to win. I'm telling you they have to win now, and it's like, okay, so what are we doing here then? And I think stories are. What's that?
It's funny that you have Anakin as the example on that, and he's kind of like the exact inverse of that. Well,
he does, though, but he's I suppose, but he's the only, maybe not the only, but it's also in the 80s. So, like, when you talk about the trope, like, this is, like, kind of like the start of some of the start of the trope.
I would think about Harry Potter and the Matrix.
Oh, Harry Potter, too, yeah. Because Harry Potter is, like, you knew Harry Potter was pretty much going to win no matter what. And then it's like, he's also the chosen kind of one.
I was kind of wishing that he would die in the last one, even though he kind of died and then he was resurrected. Spoiler alert, we're gonna get to it.
Yeah.
But I think I would rather have Harry Potter actually die in the last book or the last movie. I don't know how you guys think about it.
I think it has to work though, because like.
But he would be martyred though.
Yeah, but I
That's a
think
good thing as
because
well.
the issue is then what this is another reason why I think the Chosen One's bad, is because then you can have a very unfair twist where I'm telling you this person, kind of like go back to Game of Thrones, the end of Game of Thrones, where it's like, mainly in the movie, who knows when the book's actually gonna come out, or the show rather, but like there's no reason ever that you like, given what happened, that Jon would go kill Daenerys. So then when he does, it feels very unsatisfying. And then also on top of it, when Bran becomes the true king, and then it's like, this isn't quite like a Chosen One thing, but he kind of is in a way, because he's the three-eyed raven. But it's like
he's chosen for a different purpose.
They gave us, and this is the thing, if you have the Chosen One lose, is if I tell you the guy is gonna win and then he doesn't, why did I tell you he was going to win in the first place? Versus the other thing, if I tell you this character's the Chosen One, and then the one who saves everybody is actually Arya kills the Night King, it's cool, but it's like, what was the point of the Chosen One actually hurt the story than helped it? I think Chosen One's D tier, actually. I think
those are good examples of it being totally misused. I want to say that my actual favorite Chosen One is actually from Dragon Ball Z, like the whole Super Saiyan prophecy is like, it's done really well in that it's kind of a will they won't they if it's ever going to happen in the Frieza saga. It's like it's alluded to, but nobody actually, like, it's kind of, it seems fake, and until the very last moment, it only happens the very last moment of it. It's a really well done thing. It takes a long time. But I think most of the time, yes, C or D tier is where I'd put it. I don't think it's done very well most of the time.
What do you think, Rufy?
I'm thinking of two things before we rank it. I would put it either in C or D.
Okay.
Either strong D or weak C.
Strong D.
The reason for it is immediately strong D. No. I was thinking that first of all, a comment, because I don't think we should judge Game of Thrones on the last season. You know what I mean?
No, I agree, but that's why though, because they did that, and they circumvented the trope.
It's a good example of being misused.
And that's why the last season's bad, because it would have been better if they didn't do that.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, it gives you a really good prompt if you have a Chosen One to create a secondary character and have him as the idiot, and it's maybe even you sometimes in the games, or example is zombie movies, right? You get introduced to this badass guy, and in the first 10 minutes he dies, and his idiot helper becomes the main character immediately, even though he was not the chosen badass, and he just goes through like a crisis because he doesn't really know what to do, and he is put into a position of power. And I really like those stories when you become like, when you're nobody and you like, you get somewhere.
Sort of a different trope. It's like passed on.
I think that's but it's the same trope, but it's a better way of doing it, though. I think, or it's almost like I guess in a way, you'd have to let me know if this is a good example, but it's in the Lord of the Rings, how they have the Hobbit do it, where basically the only person who you would expect to not do it is
the one who's doing it.
Is the one who's going to do it. So, but the problem is the cliche good because there is great examples of it, even though there's probably, like, if you watch something that you don't care about or haven't been told was good, if I turn on, say, one of the streaming things and I go watch it, you say, oh, go watch this new fantasy show, and then I turn it on and it says, Greg is the chosen one. I'm gonna roll my eyes and turn it off probably right away, because I'm just like, why is he like? It's the ones that are already, like, I feel like it's almost played out now. Like, it's probably been played out for a while, but like,
that's what I'm saying. You can put a spin on it. Just because of that, I would give it a C tier. Otherwise, if you're going just for the thing itself, D tier.
I think if you do it well enough, it's C tier, and I think maybe it could be C tier because if you could do it well, and even though I'm a big hater, actually I think if you were going to make a story, it's D tier. But because it actually has a ability to be circumvented if you do that correctly, I think C tier. You agree, Tristan?
I'll put them in C tier.
Okay.
Fine. Let's move on.
Next, we have a forbidden tome. So here's the Necronomicon from Lovecraftian lore and the Evil Dead. And then I guess part of this trope is, generally speaking, it's if you read it, you either become corrupted or you unleash something. So those are like the general use cases for this trope.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. Like in the story, like when you're a watcher, you see you see this, and you're like, oh, okay, I know exactly what that is. It's pretty clear to the reader what's going to happen most of the time with it.
Well, the books normally look evil as shit too. That's the
The characters should know that.
Yeah. This is skin and it's talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that. Let's read that.
Oh, it's all Latin. It's all Latin. Let me read it out loud.
I wonder what it is, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of think the best part of this trope is I feel like it's not actually been like altered enough. I feel like it's not been played with enough.
I think it's the hardest to alter because
that's true.
Because if it's a forbidden tome and then you read it and then nothing bad happens, then it's
the McDonald's recipe.
Yeah, but then it's not a forbidden tome. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think it's
some dark wizard was just writing down a recipe and you're like, ooh, looking at it. Meanwhile, it's just a beef patty.
Damn, I actually thought I was gonna like this one, but now that we're talking, I think it's super one-dimensional. I think it's so one-dimensional.
You can't do much with it. Or at least because much hasn't been done with it. Maybe somebody can figure it out and make it a cool, fun thing. But so far, I think.
But if you follow it to the T, is it D tier though?
If you follow it to the T, you know exactly what's going to happen from the beginning. It is a trope. It's very clear on that.
But is it a bad way? Because D tier means it sucks, right?
That's true.
So it's like
have you seen positive ones? Because I can think of, as you said, Necromicon, then maybe Book of Vile or whatever they did in D&D. What is it?
What I'd say, Cabin in the Woods, when she goes down to the bottom and reads it.
Evil as well.
But
positive ones.
No, because it's not a forbidden tome. If you open it, I don't think it's a forbidden tome if I open this evil book and then it fixes all of the world's problems.
Yeah, it turns you to a Sailor Moon.
That would be funny, though. That would be funny. I would like that.
Yeah.
That would be funny, but
My thing is it super cliche and one-dimensional? Yes. If you do it super cliche and one-dimensional, is it bad?
No.
It's just you cannot do much with it. That's my main beef, I would say, with Forbidden Tomes.
Maybe if it's a huge part of the story, but I think even in Baldur's Gate, I think there's that one book, and then if you read it, the big freaking thing comes out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe D. Maybe if you guys don't like it, do you guys think it's D?
I put it a weak C behind Chosen One Prophecy. I think there are too many good chosen ones that I like more.
Any lower tier is cool with me.
Yeah, I'm cool with
that. Okay, we'll put it in C for now. Okay, and then this is we have Gandalf here, obviously, as the important character that dies and comes back.
Yeah, so he's right beside Jon Snow down there.
Yeah, who also does it too. Yeah, that's another good example. Jon Snow.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, if you want to get biblical.
If you want to get biblical, you could go the J-Man.
I was thinking about Buffy. Do you know Buffy from the Vampire Slayer?
No,
so many characters.
No, I haven't seen Buffy, the Vampire Slayer.
Or Angel. I know those are like really old shows, but I kind of like them.
Well, if you've seen the Avengers Endgame, everybody who gets snapped away just comes back. I'm gonna say it. This is D tier. This ruins the story, in my opinion.
I don't think it ruins the story. I think
it's overdone.
A lot of the time.
I don't even think that it's because once it happens once,
it kills the stakes.
It seems totally arbitrary whether or not somebody's brought back.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's a little different if I see you die on screen. Then it's even worse. So maybe the Gandalf one's not as bad. Say like Boromir, right? You saw Boromir die on screen. So if they brought Boromir back, it would be it might have been a story killer, right?
That's true.
And then because you don't see Gandalf die on screen, then it's not as bad. Or same with like the Hound in Game of Thrones, right? The Jon Snow's death kind of sucked because it was very obvious he was coming back, and then the Hound's coming back was a little bit better because you didn't actually watch the Hound die, and you kind of thought he might not be dead.
Yeah, because he's tough as hell.
Yeah, well, and you didn't see him die, so like he's assumed dead. Exactly. And I think there's a difference too, like assuming dead and dying and coming back.
Being actual dead. Yeah. Whereas Jon Snow did actually die, and Gandalf did actually die.
Exactly.
But Gandalf was done well because Gandalf just appears, and you're like shocked that he's alive, but technically he's not the same person as well. But I don't want
part
to be a
of it,
nerd about it, but like Gandalf was not the same person, you know.
I want to say this. I think that part of the reason we accept Gandalf is because he
it's so
actually
old.
might literally be the first one to really do that trope. So it might have been like.
I kind of agree.
total
I think
thing.
because it is so old, yeah.
And it was unveiled. It was like a shock value, you know. You immediately learned about it, and then he explained it. It wasn't like he died. Okay, now we have to all resurrect him, or he resurrects immediately. It has an effect, you know. It has like a deep effect because you grieved, he was dead, and there was no way of bringing him back. But then there's the shock value, and
Sure,
it
but
kind of worked.
Can you think of another example that's good aside from Gandalf?
No.
Because then you're gonna put it in D tier. And that's
Like I said, I think if you say like there's characters who, as long as they don't die on screen, it can be good. As long as they don't die, but if they die on screen and you bring them back,
that's the thing. That's as a viewer, I know the rule. If they don't die on screen, they're not dead. Everybody, like people know that.
Yeah, and I agree. I agree.
That's why
I agree. It's almost a trope
on
on its own. But if I see the character die and then you bring him back, none of the deaths matter, and then they all feel arbitrary because say you know, it works maybe in Lord of the Rings because Gandalf is like the only guy who comes back. But if they did it like he dies and comes back, and Aragorn dies and comes back, then it's like why did Boromir not come back? You know, like then it's totally arbitrary. I think
They hate him.
right, and Game of Thrones does it good a lot of times where sometimes they do it good every time aside from Jon Snow.
I was gonna say. And one more thing before we put it in D tier. I would say that for me, Resurrections for the main characters was ruined by big studios. For example, like
that's
any
a good point.
Marvel, any like long episodes series. Like it's such a bad cliche for the studio to be like, yeah, we need to make money. All right, let's bring some characters back, so people can just like relate back again to the show because they like the character. I hate that. Like just let the show die.
I think the other one is too in Marvel, like when this is a good example. It also is terrible if you use time to undo things.
Because you can use it every time.
I hate multiverse. I hate multiverse with such a big passion.
Yeah, it kills a lot of the incentive to like actually watch because now anything that happens can just be undone or redone or it doesn't matter because there's 10 million universes. So why don't I I don't actually care anymore because this universe is just one. I'm just gonna pretend I'm in the one that actually.
Right. You lose all emotional stake because now I just assume anything I don't like is just gonna be undone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, let's D tier.
D tier. I think it's D tier.
Garbage.
D tier, yeah. Except Gandalf, D tier.
Sure.
So Resurrection is next.
No, next is the Lost Heir.
Yeah.
Lost Heir.
Yep, and obviously we have Jon Targaryen here as our Lost Heir.
This is a good example of one that was done really well. At least in the show, I haven't read the books, but I mean, for them, it's real. Like you don't actually know that he's a Targaryen for a very long time, you know.
Well, especially because he has black hair. If he had blonde hair, it'd be brutal. But because the way that the show does the hair, it makes it better.
Yeah. Because they're or in the early series, they're very consistent with who has what hair color because it's very important to like
exactly, and like how and then also they show like how important it is that Joffrey has the blonde hair, not like the platinum hair. You know,
because all the Baratheon children
have brown hair. Yeah, have the brown or black hair. Exactly. Yeah. So
I was immediately thinking of Aragon. Have you read the Dragon books?
I've seen the movie with like Jeremy Irons.
But I think of that because there's like a inheritance cycle, right? Like the secret bloodline, and I kind of like when they put in the bloodline thing. Even though it's cliche, Game of Thrones as well, Daenerys, Jon Snow, or even Lord of the Rings, Aragon, like, I really like it because they just put things in place sometimes. If you have a lost heir somewhere.
What's also cool. There's a lot of stories. Sorry.
Okay. I was just thinking about Game of Thrones. What was the name of the Baratheon bastard?
I can't remember.
Talking about Gentry.
Gentry.
I prayed on my knees that he would become the king because I liked him so much as a basic blacksmith.
Yeah, it would have been better than it would have been better than what. It would have been better than Bran too. That's the worst part. Is a
blacksmith Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, the worst part is it literally would have been better that they put a character who was in the first season and then the freaking 8th season if they would have made him the king over Bran. It says a lot.
Oh my god, I would love him. Like, basically, it would be like a young, what was his name again?
Robert,
The
yeah.
original? Robert. It would be like young Robert over again.
Yeah.
And even though it's kind of cliché, I would love that. From blacksmith to king.
Yeah.
You can't get better story.
Well, obviously, like, in Oblivion, there's Martin Septim, and then also I'm thinking all of like the old stories where, there's like an old Greek myth where the guy his firstborn son is gonna kill him, and then
oh yeah,
is it Oedipus? I think it's Oedipus actually. I think it's Oedipus.
He kills Medusa. He kills Medusa.
No. Oedipus is that the king, his firstborn son or whatever, his son he gets the vision, or the seers tell him that his firstborn son is gonna kill him. So then he's supposed to have his son killed, but then they actually not kill his son, and then his son comes back and accidentally kills him one day because they got in an argument over the road, and he threw a rock. I forget it's a weird story, but it's one of like it's like a very old story. And then also
another really old example.
Well, I was gonna say is Moses. That's what I was gonna say is
Yep.
Moses, but I couldn't remember. Is Moses the Pharaoh's son?
Yes.
Oh, that's right, he is. But why did they send him away? Because they're killing the.
Well, they sent him away because he was a Jew and they were killing Jew children at the time. But he eventually, I think he got adopted actually.
Okay, yeah, I thought Moses was.
I just instinctually thought it was. It's true.
And it was King Oedipus.
He actually is because he goes away and then he comes back and they're like, so he is actually a lost heir.
Yeah.
Because he was considered an heir and then he left.
I think it's B tier because I don't think it's bad, and I think he can do it good. And the fact that the fact that in some stories I wish the Lost Heir got it, I think that makes me think it's B. Do you agree, Rufy and Tristan?
I think it's totally a good B. Jack and Daxter's a good example of it too.
Rufy?
Oh, I mixed it up by the way with the Medusa. It was the riddle, right, of the Sphinx guy, the one which you were talking about. But yeah,
the Oedipus one, yeah.
Yeah, Oedipus one. It was Sphinx.
Okay, so B tier. Lost Heir's B tier. Our next one is the magic MacGuffin that must be destroyed, and I don't think there's a better example than the One Ring, right?
It is the predominant example. It's exactly you know what it is. You're like, oh, here's the thing to break it. That's the One Ring. Let's go throw it in the mountain.
Unless you think of like the old cartoon things as well. You always had MacGuffins as well to destroy, but that was more like a episode trope than like an actual big story revolving around it. So Ring is, one and only.
Is it? Would it be? Well, obviously, here's the other thing too: is the story only exists if where you have to destroy the MacGuffin is either very far away and dangerous, or you have to go get something that's very far away and dangerous and bring it back to destroy it. So.
Or we could go the Bourbon route and use it.
Right. I'm gonna say I actually think that because it is so Lord of the Rings, I almost think it's D tier because I think if you do it. It sucks. Because then if you tell me, well, the people in my story have to go destroy the staff of Moses, and they have to take the staff to the dangerous land far away and destroy it there, I'm going to say, oh, so you're just remaking Lord of the Rings.
Oh, if you're talking about weapons,
I think I agree with you.
World of Warcraft, Lichbane, the sword, which, what was his name? Athers? I forgot his name.
I didn't play World of Warcraft, yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Do you guys think it's D tier, or do you guys like it?
I'm with you in that I think and as soon as it happens, I know it's a Lord of the Rings. Like,
exactly, I think that's.
If not for Lord of the Rings, and it almost feels like.
Rufy, do you have a strong opinion on this not to be D tier?
I mean, there are some MacGuffins which are evil and have cool spin on it, because where I was going with the Warcraft thing, it's Frostmourne, by the way. That's the,
this is the MacGuffin that you have to go destroy. Is the trope?
Kind of MacGuffin.
Trope. Frostmourne, even though it was a sword, like it was like trapped in blah blah magic, evil, and when it corrupted its wielder, right? It is a magic MacGuffin. Because it corrupts the wielder and then it gives him power and immediately starts dominating him.
Okay, so you're describing the ring, the One Ring. So I think that's the problem, I think that's why it's bad. Yeah.
Can you even have positive MacGuffin?
Well, you can have a MacGuffin, and I think a MacGuffin in general is actually not good. I think a MacGuffin is like C tier to begin with. But then if you're telling me the trope is the MacGuffin that has to be destroyed, it's actually worse than bringing a character back from the death, in my opinion.
But what if it's just MacGuffin question? Is it?
It's
must be
different. That's not what we're
destroyed or
covering.
MacGuffin?
This is
It's
the one
not
that
just
has to be
MacGuffin.
destroyed.
Yeah,
It has to be
I'm saying
destroyed.
even if it's just a MacGuffin, I still think it's bad. I know Tristan disagrees. Even if it's just a MacGuffin, I still think it's bad. But
I mean,
this
I
is
was also thinking positive muffin because muffin.
But we're not talking. That's not the trope.
yeah,
we're
that's not the
talking
trope.
Yeah,
about.
I understand. I was just thinking about Fallout, like the
The
kids.
platinum shit and the got yes, the Garden of
Yeah.
Eden creation kick.
The Garden of Evil.
This
yeah.
is a magic MacGuffin that must be destroyed.
Yes,
Yeah,
this
then
is
D tier.
different.
D tier. Let's.
It's
see.
worse than bringing a character back from the dead. Do we agree?
Yes, well,
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Only because, if there was no Lord of the Rings, you could probably do it, so blame Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Next we have orcs are always evil.
You could say the same thing about this one, is that it's from Lord of the Rings and it's always Lord of the Rings, but I actually like when orcs are always evil. Freerun does the same thing with demons are always evil, and I like when I like that. Okay, they do it both well. I really
What about the new Middle Earth orcs, which have
Oh
families?
yeah, which is total garbage.
And have-
which is actually
and they have
it's a
HR.
good reason. It's a good reason
And they
I
have
like this
HR.
They have HR. Don't you think you're
Yeah.
working the orcs a little hard, Saruman?
Dude,
That's
no,
a great meme.
Yeah.
B,
Well, I just
B
came up
tier-
to let you know that they're at 9 hours, which is already an hour over their shifts, but I'm just coming to flow that up here.
Yeah, the forest cannot cover it.
Here's my thing is that I think it's good, and I also think I don't think it's good to totally subvert it, but I kind of like and I think maybe this is different because you can play as them, but I think in the Elder Scrolls it actually works really well that orcs are still like barbarian-y kind of, but they also make
They
sense
can
to be where they
communicate.
are. Yeah,
well,
like
it's a different trope. I mean, that's not what orcs are always evil is.
oh
It's
no,
like-
I know, but I'm saying I think subverting the trope is also good.
But they are a creation of evil. They are literally made out of mud and evil magic. So,
Alright,
for the most part, of course. Even in Warhammer, they are shrooms, which are evil eventually, and they just want chaos.
I think
you're telling a different story if you're in Lord of the Rings, right? Go back to the first 3 movies and say now we have a good guy orc who's actually like part of the good guys and has a moral conscience. You're telling a very different story than Lord of the Rings.
yeah, it's like the Arbiter from Halo, but it's a orc
Yeah,
who's on the
it
good
is a
team.
subversion of the trope, but I think it actually takes away from the value of the story, because that's not the point of the story. Normally,
Well,
if you
I don't
have
know.
it-
I disagree. I almost think it makes it stronger in a way because
you're changing
like
your point. You're taking away story time, like your energy and effort you could be putting into telling other parts of the story. You're stealing away because now you have to be like, well, actually, this guy's kind of an okay dude, and now we need to go tell his backstory why he's an okay dude. You have this because you want to tell a story elsewhere.
Yeah, no, I agree that it is just a simplification of if it's just like in their nature. But I think in a way, this might be off topic, but in a way, it almost makes the orcs look, or say like the arbiters, it makes them look more evil because like they actually have the option to not be evil. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Though orcs are only
It's probably
instead of
off.
Skyrim,
It's probably
they
off
commit
topic in that note, but I could see this as being in B tier. Do you think it's higher?
I think B is where I would put it because it's the most. I think it's a very like general filling average trope, and it's one that I'm okay with having. And the reason I don't like the thing I don't like about this disrupting the trope is that every show or series in the world now thinks they have to disrupt the trope of the bad guys aren't actually always all bad, and that's why I think it's a boring thing to.
They
disrupt,
humanize it
'cause
too
it's-
much, you think?
Yeah, they've done it too much.
Yeah, but
Like-
I think to me, right, and I get that point. To me though, like if like when I think of orcs, I like it to be. Now I get the one-dimensional for the storytelling. It's like this is kind of like the Empire of Evil, right? Obviously, not in real life. Not everybody in the evil empire is evil, right? And then they all would have. But I think it's, in my opinion, I like it better when. Okay, because they're kind of resemble like barbarians, so it would make sense because in real life. Because obviously it's fantasy, but in real life, not all the barbarians don't always work together. You know what I mean? So like,
here's my question: do you like the subversion of the trope, or do you like the trope not being there? The trope.
I would say I like the trope not being there. Yeah, I would say
that's different.
Yeah,
That's different
I
than
would
the
say
subversion of the
I would say I dislike the trope actually. In
There you
that
go.
personally, but I don't think it's a bad. If I read your story and the orcs were bad, I think it makes sense to have the orcs be bad as a bad guy because they like embody something that you would typically see as
making
bad.
a choice. They're
Right,
making a
like
decision.
when
I
you
know
have
what you
people
mean.
who are bad, they're either like barbarians or they're like pseudo-Nazi high elves, and it's like
Yeah.
they kind of have to be on the either end of the spectrum to be like the evil empire. So it's kind of this, you kind of run into that, but that's okay in that sense. But when it's like global politics, I think it's better if there's not just this one race who is actually kind of human-like is actually not super evil.
Yeah, that's the absence of the trope. You want the absence
exactly,
of the trope.
And I think that's why I don't love it, but it's B tier to me.
The thing is, there's also like a psychological thing being researched that the longer we have some sort of cliche or a race which is frowned upon or looked down upon as evil, the more we try to sympathize with that race. Which
not me.
Yeah, well, facts.
It happened in Warcraft. In Warcraft, originally, orcs were just brutal, barbarous raiders, and they came to destroy and plunder. But then you learn that their world is falling apart, and they are literally just looking for new lands to settle. Basically, they are like the founding fathers.
And well, I think that makes sense because obviously it's fantasy, but unless they're completely mindless, it actually doesn't make sense. Like because once if you have any desire to flesh out like a sentient creature or a sapient creature, if you have any desire to flesh it out, you instantly have to say, okay, well, they're not all evil, because it's not realistic even in like a fantasy sense to have all of them be evil unless they're like unknowingly evil. Then it'll be different.
Unless you use Tolkien logic that they are made out of mud and evil.
Exactly,
magic,
right.
So
Exactly.
They don't have a choice.
Exactly. Then it makes sense.
I have a good response to that, Aaron, because there is a show that does this very well. Frieren is an anime manga or whatever that's come out, and it does this really well. Where the reason the demons are depicted as evil is because exclusively they do prey on humans. So what makes them evil is that they are hunters of humans, right?
Yeah, that makes sense, right? And then that's what I'm saying.
It's not that they're malicious creatures inherently.
And that's kind of what I'm saying. I kind of agree with that, where it's like
I'm okay with B position, I would say.
I'm okay with B too. I was gonna say this is a side note in a way. This isn't the same thing, and I didn't really watch literally almost any of the show. So if I'm I watched like part of the first season, but on Attack on Titan, the Titans aren't, at least to my knowledge, my knowledge, they're not evil. They're just like.
Yeah, they're just things that run.
They're the antagonizing force, and I think it's different.
They're a force of nature.
Exactly, yeah. Okay.
Let's move on.
Next is potions in unlabeled bottles. This is like common. There's always an apothecary in there. Oh, you have, butt warts. Let me go. Oop, boop, boop, boop. Here's the butt wart potion. Sometimes they'll even give you the potion in it. Oh, it's the one that makes you explode or something like that instead. So,
I will sound gluttonous now, but I will say, if I see a potion in a game, I don't care. I'm trying it. I'm trying, even if it doesn't have description. I'm saving the game.
Yeah.
I'm trying the potion.
Well, I think too, if you say in games, say in Skyrim, potions aren't labeled; they're just colored, and I think that's a huge trope as well, especially in games. It's the red potion is your health potion, the blue potion is your mana potion, the green potion is your stamina potion,
or yellow.
The more fantasy the setting is, the more likely there are to be potions that do weirder things and have no labels on them at all. So in the story, the characters will come across something, and it's like, well, it's a potion of, we have no idea what it is. We'll just store it for later, and then it comes out later. They're in a dire situation. It's a time, and they're like, boom, fuck it, drink the potion. And I think it's fun. I think it's fun.
I think it's fun too.
A tier thing. It's not like it's not that big of an impact on the story.
It's not at all. I think in a game it works really well because if all the potions are clear and then they have labels telling you which each one is, I think you lose some of that.
You lose the fun of it. Yeah.
I think it's better if they're just like the health potion is red.
The slot machine.
I have one of the best ideas ideas right now in the head. Terraria. You have so many potions and they all have like individual looks, and it's such a cliche-ish way to sort them. Small health potion is, it's tiny, then you have the big health potions which are round and bulky. I really like that. I think...
What do you think,
that game did it one of the best.
I put an A.
Strong A. I would say strong A.
Ahead of the skeletons in the...
Absolutely. I love alchemy. Alchemy is so much fun.
I think because it's fun and you can't mess... I don't think it can be messed up, so I think it's I think it's above.
Sure.
I think it can. There are probably games where you can make crazy potion and make it blow up and invisible at the same time or something like that. Or like you lose your dig but you become invisible.
So, so this next one is Resurrection Always Goes Wrong. And,
I like it when this happens.
Pet Cemetery is the obvious example.
Before we go to it, I have one crazy potion. You have a potion which makes you invisible for a few hours, but each time you take it, you have like a horrible diarrhea.
That's a good one. Write that down.
That'd be amazing.
Let's save that.
All right, let's get.
This is the resurrection always fails. So Pet Cemetery, I think of Potema in Skyrim, where even the evil cultists who are resurrecting her think that she's gonna be very grateful, and she's not. She's just evil still.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other references for it.
Yeah, there are in Delicious in Dungeons. My favorite example of one where they resurrect a girl with dragon magic, and what ends up happening is she kind of becomes like a chimeric hybrid monster, now it's like the whole point of season was to resurrect her, and now the whole point of season 2 is they have to go fucking deal with the fact there's a giant dragon monster on the loose.
I have great.
I think it's.
They go wrong.
I think it's pretty good because I think bringing somebody back from the dead is bad, and I think if you're going to bring him back, it has to go wrong.
There needs to be a cost. There needs to be a real cost to it.
Yeah.
And this is the cost,
And I
like
have two great examples: Frankenstein, and the other one would be Dr. Hyde, because Dr. Hyde created potions to actually bring his wife back from the life. Instead, he got corrupted and created second personality.
Frankenstein's more of a creation of a monster, not the resurrection of a person.
But he didn't.
It does go. It is close enough to where it goes wrong. It does go wrong.
Yeah. He didn't think he was going to create a monster. He wanted to create a life. That's where people go wrong about Frankenstein. The doctor himself, he wanted to create a life. Yeah, he just used a lot of body parts, and Frankenstein became a monster. And there's other spins on it. For example, Van Helsing, which is one of my favorite movies. The Frankenstein is not even evil. He's literally just scary and misunderstood person.
I
think that's kind of. I think he's not supposed to be like generally evil in the main story. Yeah.
Yeah. They just see him as a monster, and that's like
exactly.
People's perception is what's wrong, and that's the point of Frankenstein. But I put this high A tier. I want this in the top 8. Yeah,
I think it's
strong B tier.
I think it's a strong B tier too. I think it's top of B tier. I think it's good, but I generally think you can kind of, because I don't like bringing people back from the dead to begin with, and then once you like.
That's why I like this one so much.
Because it's the better version of that. That's why it is strong B.
It's the optimal version, and also because I like conflict and storytelling. Right, the more problems, the more things that go wrong, the more story you have to tell. This is a direct. You put it in there.
Right.
Now
I'm putting it bottom of A. You convinced me to put it in A. I'll say bottom A. You like that, Roofy? Is that okay?
That. We'll take
I'm cool with either.
Next, we have the Dark Lord.
I want him a solid B. I feel like he's also kind of the most average thing. It's cool to have him there, and it's the reason I like these tropes and I'm willing to put him in B is because they give you a lot of space and time to work with the rest of the story, to tell a different story, right? So now we have an evil monster thing over there to deal with, but I don't have to go into detail about what's going on over there. It's an evil monster. That's why I don't have to tell it to you. I don't have to spend the time and effort to tell you he's an evil monster, so I can spend the time and effort detailing, going in on the good guy characters or the conflict in between here and there.
Yeah, and I think that this is like a cliche primeval person. For this isn't just every super evil bad guy. Yeah. This is the cliche one.
Yeah,
and I think it still works as a B tier in that sense.
Yeah,
I would be maybe a harsh right now, but I think because it was done so many times. If I have a negative person in a story, I do not want him to be completely evil. I like the cause. Because I know there's Sauron, Voldemort, the Dark One, and so on. But those people are just like, you always know what they are about. Just chaos, destruction.
And I might totally...
But what if you have like a king who is like, I don't want to say possessed or something, like some kind of a reason why he's inherently evil. And even though he can be like redeemed, like it was in Baldur's Gate, right? One of the top 4 or top 3 or whatever, the guys who want to bring forward the apocalypse, I forgot his name. He was just grieving because of his lost daughter, and he was so lost in his ways that he literally could not turn back. I like that more than just evil.
I think that, when I think that way, and I'm like, you could...
It's C for me.
And when I think that way, I'm like, you could not have the Dark Lord. Because the Dark Lord 2 is a different thing, right? Where he's super one-dimensional for the sake of being one-dimensional. But I do think that, like, and I'm probably going to contradict myself here with what I said about the orcs. I actually like it in a way where this isn't a Dark Lord at all in fantasy, but, like, No Country for Old Men. Like Anton Chigurh is so evil, and the fact that there's not even a good bone in his body.
He's not sociopath or psychopath.
But he's totally evil, right? He's totally evil. There's no like he's not that he's misunderstood and he's actually doing it because he needs that money for his daughter. He wants the money and he's gonna kill you. If you haven't,
yeah, because he doesn't have any, what do you call it? He doesn't feel for people.
Right, exactly.
Empathy.
I mean, I'm sure.
No
right. I mean, Sauron.
In his eyes, he's not evil. He's just doing his.
It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter if he knows he's evil.
Yeah,
like the Dark Lord doesn't have to know that he's evil. He just has to be evil.
If I'm Mr. McStomps on babies, Rufy, and I don't think that that's bad, that doesn't mean I'm not evil because I'm stomping on
exactly.
babies.
Yeah.
That has nothing. My perception doesn't matter.
Just because
But the thing is, that thing is fun to do, though.
I think just because you think you're right doesn't mean that you are like a sympathetic character. Yeah.
Yes.
Or even take I think like some of the best villains are villains who are literally just evil.
Yeah.
Just reminded me of this.
Because I think yeah.
It just reminded me of a conversation I had about horses, that somebody sees them as creatures of evil because they like to do like bad things to humans. And even back in the days, you would literally have scriptures of horses killing babies and charging into battle willingly.
I see.
So it's kind of a funny topic as well.
Yeah, well, when I think of the villains too, like I said, I think like the Joker's another good example, right? Where like he's kind of just evil, and they don't really give you any reason, and anytime he gives you a reason, it's always a different one, so it's totally kind of made up. Like
that's true. The Joker and Anton Chigurh being Dark Lords makes
me
like put this in A tier.
Right, it's like the best. I think.
Funny, though.
Right, because I think like when you think about it like that, it's like he's an evil character who has no sympathizing quality. That's kind of like what a Dark Lord is.
Alright, just for the idea that the Dark Lord does something which is evil, but it's funny in a way. Or like, what was the new clown? Terrorizer? Forgot the name of it.
Oh, Terrorizer? Yeah, I guess he is too, and he's a little bit more.
He's evil, but it's funny sometimes.
Right.
Then it's like extremely brutal. So I kind of would go to B. Actually, final vote B for me.
I even would say too, because if this is again not fantasy, but even if you think like Jason was way scarier before they gave you like his whole he's this bullied kid, and then you're like, okay.
Yeah, now he feels like a nerd. Now he feels like a pathetic nerd.
Yeah, now it's like I feel bad. Now I kind of feel right, but now it's like now I kind of feel bad for him. You know what I mean? So then it's like, okay, or like even like Thanos. Like Thanos has a purpose, but then they give you like his whole backstory, and then his purpose kind of it makes a little bit more sense, and he's acted really well. I think that's why he doesn't make a less compelling villain. But I think like in the grand scheme,
it's good to have evil, but as long as the actor and it's written well, otherwise.
Yeah, I think it's just done really well. And I think the other thing with that is like he is the kind of character who like.
All right, so what do we think?
I think it's top of B.
Bottom of A. I put it bottom of A.
I would say bottom B.
Okay, we'll split the difference at top of B. Fair enough.
There we go.
Yep.
What's next?
Next is where is it at? I have it right here. It's our lost kingdom. I'm losing it on my list here. This is the ancient forgotten kingdom. So obviously Atlantis, right?
Yeah, it's there's two things. One is a set piece, and one is like an important part of the story. So if you watch the movie, the Lost City of Atlantis, where they go down and they actually go to Atlantis, that's a different thing than if your setting is in a place where it is like an ancient, destroyed, ruined city, right? Which would still be
like Numenor,
or like an
okay. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it like that. I was kind of only thinking about it as like a populated place, but I guess it could just be ruins too, right?
Yeah, like or El Dorado, I think is another one, right?
Yeah, or even in the Hobbit, Moria.
That's true.
Yeah,
Moria is one.
Damn, it's pretty good actually. Now that we're doing this, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really good. Moria is such a good example.
I prefer it as a set piece rather than a living populated city. I prefer it as something that once had people and doesn't.
Like a location.
I think the populated city's not good.
Yeah, well, I think they did it okay in Atlantis, but
I'm cool with either.
I want us to do the ruins, the setting instead, and I put it at A tier. But I
think it's A tier too.
I'm cool with it as well.
Where at?
I would say bottom because they are really strong contenders.
Yeah, we'll put it bottom A tier.
I think it's better than Resurrection. Thoughts?
Sure, we can put it there.
Rufy?
But I think we talked about Resurrection a lot, and I think it's...
That doesn't mean
anything. I don't think that means anything.
No. If you just had like so many ideas how to put in the plot. That's my main beef.
All right, I'll put it
Well,
back down. It can be there then. That's fine. Next, we have the cavalry arrives, normally at the last second. Almost always the. Oh wow!
I hate it.
I love this scene. I love it. Yeah, the good guys are coming.
I like it too.
Yay!
I mean,
it's just
good
fun.
It's good visually, but it's
Bro,
been used so many times.
I get hyped every time. It can happen 100,000 times. The good guys are on the brink of defeat. Here comes more good guys. We're winning the day now. Now I'm hyped. Every time.
You think about which one, for example, Rohan charge?
Input any. There's 1,000 of these.
The winged hussars in real life. I think that this one's really good. I think this one's really good because, in a way, like in most battle scenes in most shows, like you have to find a way to have the protagonist win in a battle, and there's only certain ways to do that, and have it be exciting, right? Because if they just smash every time, then it's like, okay, so they either have to be fighting a force that's far superior, or they have to be fighting a force that's somewhat equal, and then they have to be losing, and then this is kind of one of the ways to like, okay, because obviously we have the Game of Thrones example here. That one was like really good because like part of me was like, how are they gonna spin this if they lose? Because I like, not that I really thought they were gonna lose, but I was thinking to myself like, I could see them making them lose here, and how would they spin it? I think when you're able, any trope that lets you like.
Think that it's going to be changed.
That suspends your disbelief that your main character is not going to win, I think is really helpful.
Yeah.
I have an argument, and it will show you how big of history nerd I am. You would rarely see cavalry on cavalry charge, first of all. Second of all, cavalry was mostly used for flanking maneuvers and destroying essentially the back lines of your
You would rather see...
Sure. I don't think that... Right, that doesn't hurt the trope that much, though, I don't think.
That has nothing to do.
I don't think that really hurts the trope.
I get it, but like, there's better ways of using cavalry charge than like the last effort. Or
well, is there a better way of? I think here's
infantry with pikes against cavalry. Like horses would rarely charge like pike infantry, but still, I don't like last-minute cavalry charges into infantry. I like them used like in tactical way or like historical accuracy.
Well, I think the point is though is that they didn't have Well, the cavalry arrives is not the cavalry was here the entire time and we decided how we were going to use them. The cavalry's here is the cavalry. They were not going to come. We started the battle without them, and then because they're cavalry, they were able to get here at the last second. I think that's.
Also, it doesn't have to be cavalry. In Marvel and in-game, the cavalry arrives, they all come through portals, and there's not a horse to be
that's a good point. It doesn't actually technically have to be cavalry.
It doesn't have to be cavalry. Yeah. It's just it's what you would call it. It's just the name of the trope.
But yeah, I think... Because I'm thinking of like all...
The guys are here to save the day now. They weren't here, now they are, and they're at the turning of the tide. That is good. Yeah. I enjoy it every time.
Or it also works with the subversion, is that...
The bad guy
in The Hobbit, remember the elves don't help.
Yeah.
Right? They don't help. The cavalry arrives but decides not to help.
Don't start about Hobbit, please. No. That's the... Oh, I hate it. Last battle so much.
I think the cavalry arrives is actually like top of B.
Top of B at least for me. I'd put it higher. I like it more than one of these.
Ruthie, what do you think?
I would be okay with compromising as like C. Somewhere.
You're not getting C.
Oh, if he's A and I'm B, compromising isn't putting it in C.
Yeah, compromising is
that would be a compromise.
We can put it right here in front of Orcs.
Sure, man.
That's crazy, Dick.
I think that
for the sake of argument, it's okay.
I think people like cavalry arriving too. Next we have the I have this written out as the femme fatale sorceress in impractical armor. This is any hot woman in impractical armor.
Yeah,
I know the guy who didn't just break down the tactical uses of cavalry isn't saying that he's
about this guy. What a crazy dude.
Well, I love the realism. Oh yeah, we'll just have her be butt naked though. That would work.
No. I was joking.
Yeah, we all love Katana in that she wears no clothes, but she fights people who have giant 400 pounds of meat and forearms with clubs.
I would say the only credence the only credence that I would ever give it is generally they'll have like women fighters be like they're more like agile.
Like gladiators?
No, they'll be like agile, right?
They're dex builds, or they're magic.
Exactly. So then you could make an argument where it's like, say, like a Callie in League. It's like, well, a Callie realistically probably wouldn't wear a lot of armor. Like that would make a lot of sense for like.
My real take actually, I like to see like a female warrior in full plate armor. like not just as you say it in practical armor, like actual full plate. I think it gives a good look of like a shield maiden or something like that, or even in fantasy we have the what was it in Warhammer 40k, the Sisters of Battle or the Silent Sisters.
Yeah, Sisters of
That
Silence.
could even be like Valkyries and stuff like that too.
Valkyries, if they have
Joan
like
of
actual
Arc.
full
You
plate
think real,
armor.
like real Joan of Arc? What you think of, like where
Yeah.
she
Oh my
has
god,
like, plate armor?
yes. That would be hella cool.
Well, I would
So,
say
for-
considering those, I think it's like D tier.
Yeah, I'm fine with D tier. It's kind of just goon bait, to be honest.
It is goon bait. We put it bottom
It is
because I
goon
think
bait.
I actually can't.
Sure.
This is one of the
Sure.
few things that I almost can't suspend my disbelief of a lot of times.
Yeah.
especially if it's like a Japanese or Asian game.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy sometimes. Mental.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
This next one is the Great Evil Sealed Away. And we're using the mummy here as our reference image.
Great evil sealed away.
Yeah.
Great
so it's
Evil
like
Sealed
hidden.
Away.
Oh.
In different ways. It could be it's hidden somewhere and somebody goes and reveals it accidentally or on purpose. It could
reminds me
be
more,
they've done-
unlocking the Balrog is another one.
Could
like,
be that.
I think it's cool. I think I like them. I'd probably put it at the top of C tier. I guess it's just not a trope I've dealt with a lot. Like,
I have one which is really good, and we are going back to the original OG Lord of the Rings. What was the name? Balrog?
the Balrog. That's what I just said. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you?
the Balrog.
Sorry,
Yes.
my bad. That's really good. Or there's Morgoth. Morgoth as well. He was the king of Balrogs. So even he was like sealed away. He didn't bring out the Balrog army.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of also I mean they're trying to get like Sauron back, right? He's kind of the Great Evil Sealed Away. Part in a way too, correct or no?
No.
He wants
Sauron
his
was
ring. He wants his rings.
He wants his ring to be like resurrected.
Oh, you
I
said
don't know.
Sauron. I heard Saruman.
It's Sauron.
Yes.
It's Sauron.
Sauron.
No,
Sauron was
Saruman.
evil.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he wants to be resurrected and bring his power back. So yeah, he
He's in a way he's the Great Evil Sealed Away.
Yeah, sort of.
Also
Yeah.
in our ancient Forbidden Tome thing, a lot of things too is like you read the book and then that
And
unlocks
that's
whatever it was.
unsealing it.
I think it's actually a pretty okay because it makes sense. I think it works because like a lot of these great evil things, I think they're even scarier if it's like they couldn't be destroyed, so we had to lock it away. And in a way, if
true.
you think about it, this isn't sealing away, but they sent Alduin forward in time in
Yeah.
in Skyrim.
It's basically the same.
It's sealed
Oh,
away, but sent to the future. So that's like a
Yeah.
fun way of doing it. I think this is actually like B tier looking.
Sure, I'm cool with it in B tier. I like Alduin. The Alduin example is actually really good.
Roofy, B tier.
I'm cool with it. Yeah.
Where at?
Oh,
I
in the middle.
Yeah, just put it in the middle of B tier. That's I've got an average take on that one.
Over cavalry charge, below cavalry charge.
Over. Come on,
I
come on.
I would put it under.
Yay!
I would put it under too, actually. I would put it
No.
under
Cavalry
too.
charge blogs way further up, but
Yeah.
Cock blocked once more.
we've got this guy lowering the average.
Next we
Last
have
Stands.
is the Last Stand, and I have a hot opinion on this one.
What's your hot opinion of the Last Stand?
This is S tier.
It's an S tier thing. We
S
love it. We
tier.
love heroes dying for
If
what they
yes,
believe in.
if my character, if my
Spartans.
important character is gonna die, he needs to have a Last Stand.
Yep.
I think it's
thinking
S
about-
tier.
I want to see
Think
him.
about Spartans and Halo. What was his name? Delta.
Oh my God,
so
yeah, Delta One.
Reach.
Yeah.
Reach is another Last Stand. The end of Reach. That one's really good
Yeah.
too.
And Spartans in 300. Really
Yep.
good.
Spartans is good too. I wasn't even thinking about that.
hmm Always good. Nobody dislikes the Last Stand. I think it's a universally liked.
Yeah, or like
trope.
Warriors.
a history one. I think it's Battle of Stamford Bridge where there's the
Viking.
the
The
Viking,
Valhalla.
yeah, who has the last stand on the bridge and holds them
Yeah.
off. All right, S tier, is it better than Bandits on the Road?
It's the best. I
It's
think
better.
It's the best.
better.
I think it's the best
It's
one
the
too.
best we have so far, I think. Yeah.
Next we have
We are united. But
right. We all agree. That's how you know this one's good.
Alright,
Next we have the last of its kind. So this is
Dragons.
Dragons in Game of Thrones. This is the Last Airbender.
I mean,
Um,
universally, you don't have that many dragons in any fantasy stories.
Some you do. have
some
a
you
lot
do,
of
some you.
dragons,
I mean,
Actually, yeah.
I mean, in
Dragon
Skyrim,
Eye.
there's dragons everywhere.
Yeah, in Magic the Gathering, there's dragons everywhere. So
Yeah.
Also, did you play this very old game called Dragon Eye?
nope.
It's
No.
You're literally a dragon. You're flying a dragon, and you can change dragons. It's kind of funny game. It was like a arcade or adventure.
Kind of missing the point here.
I'm gonna say this.
I know.
I think
I'm just saying
last
it's
of
very
its.
good.
I think last of its kind is only slightly better than the chosen one, because a lot of times they go hand in hand. But I think if you don't do it hand in hand, it's okay.
It's better with that. It's better if it's not hand in hand, right? Aang is the chosen one, and he's the last of his kind. He's done well, but most of them aren't. I know what you mean.
But there's like wider spectrum. We could even put it on more animals like unicorns or even humans.
Well, unicorns is a good example.
Kryptonites.
Unicorns is a
Well,
good example, but
Aragorn,
Superman.
Aragorn is the last of his kind.
Superman
Right.
as well.
I'm gonna say
Yes.
this. I think it's only.
Superman is.
I don't think it's B tier. I think it's only better than chosen one.
I'm okay with it being there. I'm okay with it being there.
You know, a lot of times too, and I said they kind of go hand in hand. Most of the time, not most of the
They're
time,
correlated.
not the most of the time. A lot of times they're correlated. Like
Yeah.
you have
But
Aang,
it's
he's the
better.
last
It's one
Airbender,
of- it's
and he's the
it's better
chosen
of
one.
those two.
and it's like
It's better one of those two. It's better one
Okay.
of those two. I'm cool with that.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
The next one we have, as you could probably guess, is the party splits up.
Splitting up the gang.
And obviously, as we know, Scooby-Doo is the prime example of this.
Yeah.
I love the funny spin on it from Scary Movie. Like when they separate, and it's just the black people. They're like, we are fucked.
Yeah,
That's
Well-
fucking hilarious.
it's a real
It's
scary movie
almost-
thing more than anything, honestly. But
Sure, but well, in fantasy, it's different than in horror. In horror, it's like it always happens and somebody always dies. But in fantasy, it's almost always comical, right? It's almost always played as a joke, and if it's in actual fantasy or anything D&D inspired, really, which is kind of what's made the trope bigger as time has gone on. It's not been Scooby Doo, you know.
yeah, well, I think
You
it's
don't want intentionally. That's the thing. You don't want intentionally to split up. But like if it happens unintentionally through some kind of catastrophe or something, I would be okay with it.
yeah, I think it's good that too. I actually think it also is not that bad if it happens intentionally,
Yeah, it's fine.
because like in Berserk, you know, Guts like leaves, and then all the bad stuff happens, and that's kind of what allowed that plotline to happen.
Yeah,
Oh, that's kind of mental example.
It is a
example.
it's an okay. I mean, it happens. That it does happen, right?
The gang splits up, bad stuff happens. That's how
It's
it goes.
kind of
But
unanimous.
it's
That's the reason
crazy
they don't like
thing.
them.
Like, oh, we split up. All right, I'm gonna go rape the princess.
Yeah, well, I think too. I would say like the other thing is, it happens in Lord of the Rings, right? Why does it happen in Lord of the Rings?
After the Amon Hen, like when the orcs attack and they have to split up to save
Yeah.
their skin.
Because the Frodo takes it on his own because he doesn't want what happened to Boromir to happen again. He doesn't want
And
the
Sam.
humans and the elf, and he doesn't want them to try
Yeah,
to
yeah,
steal the ring because he knows he believes he'll resist it.
Right,
But Boromir
and that's a good
couldn't.
example. That's a good example.
Yeah, that's a really good example.
Or if they need to split up because they're limited on time as well, where
yeah,
okay, well,
they have to
two
fulfill
things, multiple
goals.
things have to get done. We can't, you know.
Yeah,
I think
like
it's
splitting up the gang.
I think it's at least B tier, right?
Definitely B2.
Agree?
I think
Bottom of B
as
tier.
well. Yeah, that's fine.
Sure.
The next one we have is when the evil villain explains their
AKA me.
plan in detail.
Oh, that's even more me.
I like that this trope can be done so many different ways, right? Where it's comical, or it's like I'm revealing my dastardly plan, but almost every single time it ever happens, it ends the same way.
If it's
Where-
done in a serious way, it's terrible, right?
Well, the
Most of
thing
the
is-
time, yeah.
Depends if
No,
the
not really.
the counter protagonist needs to be present. If he is present, it's comical and it will end up badly for the villain. But what if the fantasy
No.
or movie or something, the evil person or the good person explains their plan? Oh, it's villain, right? Yeah, the villain
Yeah.
explains his plan within the comments of his evil partners, right? And then it's quite alright.
Then it's better.
because you
Then
can-
it's better.
well-
Or if he's by himself and you kind of have a window
Oh,
into.
yeah. And he's
into-
crazy, for example. He's insane, and he's like talking to himself, like decrypting something.
There's this thing in storytelling where as soon as if a plan is told instead of being done, it will fail.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So the heist being planned, if it's told to you before the heist is being done, everything's gonna go wrong. The
Yeah.
same goes for pretty much any plan. It has to be done before it's told, which is why this one is the plan is basically fulfilled, and now I'm revealing it to you as you are the hero who is like tied up and can't do anything about it until Batman breaks out and stops the bad guy.
Tell me what you think. I think it's top of D tier. I don't think it's as bad as these, but it's pretty bad.
I think there's a lot of examples that could be
It can
done
be
well,
subverted.
but
It can be
I'm cool.
subverted.
I'm cool with it in D tier because it's most of the time it's really flat. There's not much to be done, I guess.
I think the only reason it's not the worst is because it can be done in kind of a funny way.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Syndrome in Incredibles as well. Or what is this guy again?
Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah, different.
And well, I think that there's a
That's
reason that it's in a
not
lot of
funny.
kid things, like
Yeah.
a lot of media that's meant for children, because they might not have put it together. But if you're like an adult and it's like every one of my characters has to tell you what their plan was,
Well,
then it's
now,
like
let's
you're
be
not a very good
honest, a
writer.
lot
Then
of it-
if I didn't know what it was based on their motivations, and they had to literally spell it out for me.
I think you're missing some, because there are stories where like sometimes it is like kind of the point of the story is that it's hard to put together and that you might not put it together by the time you get there. And it's
Yeah, for example, Memento Mori, right? Have you seen the movie where the guy cannot remember, so he makes like the tattoos and images of things, so he could like backtrack on what he was doing?
You're talking about. It's just called Memento.
Yeah, or Memento, not Memento Mori.
Yeah.
Just Memento. My fault.
You must have
I
just.
can't think of any solid examples right now, but I know.
I know
there
what
are
you're
some.
saying. But it's too. It's like why. I don't
is
think
it
you're.
so
I
complicated
don't
to
want to
act as a
say it. Yeah.
witness?
If you have to tell me your plan as a writer, if you have to tell me what the whole point of everything you did was, and I don't
Murder
know.
mysteries.
The
Murder
only
mysteries.
murder mysteries are the only reason, and even most of the time, it's because it's the character who you thought had no chance of doing it, and then they had to tell they have to tell you, oh well, actually that whole time when I left the room, I actually snuck around and crawled under the table, and it's like, okay, well, like how would I have ever planned
You
for that?
fucking
Like how would
nerd.
I have ever planned for that? Yeah, that's why I think it's D tier.
I'm gonna put it in D tier because it's hard to pull off well. Because it is
Yeah.
true that a lot of those murder mysteries, it's like a lot of them do feel like how was I supposed to put this together? If they ever cheat on anything, if it requires evidence or information that I was never allowed to have as an observer, that's a scam, and it really that puts it in F tier, honestly. But
Or-
I don't know.
like,
There
for-
are some
here's-
times
here's-
it's done well, but
here's-
because it's hard to do well, put it in D.
Well, I'll use the Game of Thrones example for you. Okay, so they obviously Joffrey gets poisoned by, like the Queen of Thorns, Olenna Tyrell. You
Yep.
knew her and Littlefinger did it before she told you she did it, and it was very convoluted on how they did it, but you still knew they did it,
Yeah.
right? And you also knew Sansa wasn't in on it, right? So those are like it's a very convoluted plan, but they've told you they've done it before they even told you they did it. And then I think
Sure.
the flip side is like with the really, because some of the murder mysteries kind of suck, where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
there's no way you could have figured out that I did it, so I have to tell you how I did it. You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, we okay with the list here?
I'm cool with the list.
All right,
Cool with
that's
the list.
that's about an hour-long tier list for you guys. We appreciate you watching. If you watch the whole thing, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out our Patreon and our Steam page in the description, and then also on the Steam page, check out. We'll wishlist the game. Wishlist Winter Reach Emporium. It'll help out regardless. So, appreciate it, guys.
See you guys.
Much love.
His chair is plugged in too, by the way. I moved it over and plugged it in. I'm not kicking you out. I can't record because I'm recording too. Okay, all right. Well, I didn't want to be like, yo, but
No women allowed.
yeah, Rufy said no girls allowed. Oh, she said, why are you invited then?